In this video, we're going to be changing the coolant on this Kubota MX5200. You'll see that I've got the hood up and had to lay the brush guard forward already. To go ahead and change the coolant, we first need to drain it. So if we look down here at the bottom of the radiator, there's a plug. We're going to be pulling the plug, and I'm going to remove the radiator cap to allow plenty of air to get in to make sure we get the whole system drained. Also want to drain this bottle. So this bottle just slides down on a bracket there. I'll be able to pick that up and dump that into my catch pan. So I'm going to go get a catch bucket, stick down there to make sure we catch everything, and get that plug pulled and get that bottle dumped, and I'll catch you guys up here in just a bit. Make sure when you're doing this project that engine is nice and cool, that it's not a warmed up engine. Well, you can see I've got the plug out and it's just about done draining now. I also pulled the bottle off and dumped it out, cleaned it out, took it over to the freshwater spigot and cleaned it up good. There's an O-ring on top of that neck that you want to make sure that it catches a lot of crap on top of the O-ring. So you want to make sure you clean that whole little assembly up real well. The plug here has got a Phillips head, but I just used a big flathead screwdriver to unscrew it. It's got a little bit of a rubber washer on it, and you can see that I have removed the radiator cap just to allow it to drain real well. I'm going to go ahead, as soon as this quits dribbling, I'm going to put the plug back in. Put the plug back in down here, and we're going to fill the system up, or fill the radiator up with distilled water. Well, we got our bottle full of distilled water. Again, we got the plug in, and you can see I got the radiator cap on. I made a little bit of a mess with that distilled water. I don't worry too much about slopping water around stuff. Now, when I go to put the coolant back in, I'll be using a funnel, and I'll make sure that I don't make a mess with that coolant. So now we're just going to start the tractor up. Temperature gauge is way down in the cold, so it's going to take it a little bit to come up to temperature. I'll leave it run at about 1500 RPMs for a few minutes, and I'll catch you up in a bit. This thing is it's right in the operating range, so the thermostat should be open, but I'm going to let it run for a little while to try to get as good a flush as possible. All right, it's been running for, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes. I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time on this because honestly, I don't put a whole lot of stock into this real light, gentle flush with just distilled water. So I'm not gonna run it too terribly long. I am, however, gonna wait for the thing to cool down now because I don't want to burn myself. So I'm gonna go ahead and let it cool down, and I'm gonna pull that drain back out, open up the radiator cap again, and it doesn't look like any water was put into or came out of that bottle at all. So that might have been an unnecessary step to put distilled water in there. But let this thing cool down now, drain it, and we'll fill it up with new coolant. Well, you can see I pulled the drain plug. We're draining. Went ahead and dumped the water that was in the bottle out, and we'll be ready to fill that up. As soon as that gets done draining, I'm going to put the plug back in it, and I'll show you what we're using for coolant. All right, well, here's the coolant concentrate that I'm going to be using. You can see this is the Kubota brand. The book says that the system holds, I think, 1.9 gallons. So 1 gallon of concentrate and mixed equal parts with 1 gallon of distilled water should be enough to do this project. And again, only use distilled water for this. Don't use tap water. Don't use your garden hose, even for the flush. Tap water has got a lot of minerals and stuff in it that can be very harmful to your cooling system. One problem that you can cause yourself, a bad problem, is the tap water deposits will solidify in your radiator and cause big time issues with that. So only use distilled water for this project, guys. Well, we got the cap on, got the drain plug in, got the system all sealed back up, topped off the bottle there, filled everything up, and then after I was done filling it up, I went ahead and just took a garden hose and flushed around the outside of it. I want to make sure that, you know, there's not any old sticky coolant sitting there. So anywhere that coolant may have dripped while I was doing this whole little project here, I went ahead and just kind of hosed it down a little bit. So I marked on my bottle, there's a little bit left in there. There might be, I don't know, a pint or so. Not quite a quart, I wouldn't guess. So I went ahead and marked that it mixed it up and what day it's mixed. That way I don't mistake it for concentrate again. So I'll know that I can just, if I need a little bit in the future, I can dump straight from this jug right into the system. That's all I got on this one, guys. If I helped you with this, click that thumbs up button. If you want to see more videos of me working on this sort of stuff out in the garage, click the subscribe button. And until the next video, keep on tinkering.